Hello everyone, I am Leela Prabhukaukar and I am from the Bodhi Academy. Today we will be learning about the class 12 chapter, that is Introduction in Consumer Behavior. This is the first chapter. Here we will be learning what is the meaning of economics and how what are the different branches of economics. Okay, so economics, I am writing over here. Economics means the study of people's choices. Okay, and the further economics is classified into microeconomics and macroeconomics. Economics is nothing but a study of people's choices, and it is also the study of scarcity of resources. So if you can see over here, economics, the meaning of economics is a study of economic issues or economic problems which arise out of the fact that resources are scarce in relation to our needs, and the scarce resources have alternative use. Resources are scarce in nature. Okay, the first thing we'll be learning about the key word, that is resources are scarce. And what is the meaning of scarce is resources are limited in nature. Resources are limited in nature, and all the resources have got alternative use. The resources have got alternative use, and also along with this, human wants are limited. The human wants are limited over here. Okay. Then coming back to the point, that is of economics. Economics is classified into micro and macroeconomics. Now microeconomics, this deals only with regards to individual level and at consumer level. Okay, so microeconomics only deals with regards to individual and consumer level, but with regards to macroeconomics, macro studies all the issues as a whole. So it studies economy as a whole. So here if we can see, macroeconomics is related to, it is related to unemployment, inflation, so macroeconomics is related to unemployment, inflation, your GDP rate, interest, everything goes in macroeconomics. So microeconomics is only studies the individual and the consumer level. Okay, so now as I said, economics, it focuses on the rational management of scarce resources, and the main motive of that is economic welfare is maximized. And according to Robbins, he has defined economics as a science which studies the human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative use. So as I said, all the resources have got some alternative use, and also the human wants are unlimited here. So we should use all the resources in a proper manner. Okay. The next thing is with regards to microeconomics. Okay, so when economic problems or issues are studied considering small economic units like an individual consumer or individual producer, it is called microeconomics. So here in microeconomics, we are only studying with regards to individual level or at the consumer level. Okay, then these are some of the components of microeconomics. Okay, so the components of microeconomics, the first component is theory of consumer behavior. First one is theory of consumer behavior. What does this theory of consumer behavior is? It is just an analysis of how a consumer allocated his income. Now everything depends on the consumer income, where the consumer is going to use his income. Okay, so two different he will use it for a different uses, so that the only motive is that the consumer will get a maximum satisfaction out of his income. So theory of consumer behavior is that a consumer should get a maximum satisfaction. Consumer should get maximum satisfaction. Only this deals with the theory of consumer behavior. It deals with the maximum satisfaction of the consumer. Okay, the second one is theory of producer behavior. So this is an analysis of how producer exercises his choice and use of different inputs. Now the second one we got is theory of producer behavior. Theory of producer behavior. Okay, so producer behavior, where the okay, so his choice, where the here the producer exercises his choice on the use of different inputs and how to decide what to produce, how to produce, and how much. So here the producer has got the different problems of an economy. Okay, so that comes in producer behavior. There are different central problems of an economy. Like whenever a producer, like a farmer or a manufacturer, will produce something, that time they will obviously they will have central problems of an economy. The problems will arise in front of them as to how to produce, whom to produce, and for what to produce. Okay, so what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Whom to produce. Okay. So here a producer has to, so since he is a producer, he has to focus on the maximization of profit by taking into consideration all the three things, that is the central problems of an economy: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. The main motive of the producer is just to maximize profits. Just to maximize the profit. Okay, so theory of producer behavior is only the producer, he exercises his choice on use of different inputs. Okay, and he decides like what he has to produce, how to produce, and how much, for whom he has to produce, and in how much of quantity. Okay, with regards to how to produce, here he will use different techniques. Here the problem of choice is technique of production. Okay, so here he will use either labor intensive technique or capital intensive technique. Okay, labor and capital intensive. Labor intensive technique is where more labors are used instead of capital, instead of machines, and capital intensive technique is very more capitals will be used instead of labor. Okay. The next thing is with theory of price. Now the third component of microeconomics is, here we'll be learning about the theory of prices. Theory of price. What does this theory of price states? That it studies how prices of goods are determined in the commodity market. So here we see how the prices are determined. How prices are determined in the market. Like there will be a different price for all the other commodities, and how prices of factors of productions are determined in the factor markets. Okay. Before coming to this, factors of production, This is also very important. There are different factors of production. Which are the factors of production? Okay, the first factor of production is land, second one is labor, third one is capital and enterprise. So these are the different factors of production. Okay, land, labor, capital and enterprise. Coming back to the macroeconomics, now first we have seen the microeconomics. So it only deals with the individual and the consumer behavior. Okay, with regards to macroeconomics, here we will see the components of macroeconomics. Yeah, and then we'll learn about the distinguish between micro and macroeconomics. Okay, so now macroeconomics, the second branch of economics is macroeconomics. MACRO, macroeconomics. So in macroeconomics, this studies the economy as a whole. Macroeconomics refers to the study of economic issues or economic problems at the level of an economy as a whole. Here we are studying everything as a whole. So now we'll be learning about the components of macroeconomics. Okay, which are the components of macroeconomics? Which are the components of macroeconomics? So here, since it studies everything as a whole, like economic issue as a whole, and I have told that macroeconomics studies the unemployment rate, GDP, inflation rates, etc. So here we'll study, the first thing that we study is theory related to equilibrium or level of output and unemployment, and employment issues. Then second one is fiscal and monetary policies, budgetary measures, and the inflation and deflationary gap. This type of things we study in macroeconomics. Then money supply and credit creation, how the money is supplied in the market and what are the functions of the commercial bank and all these things we are studying in macroeconomics. Government budget, this is very important with regards to economics point of view. Okay, budget is government budget. Budget is nothing but it is just a statement. Okay, statement of income and expenditure. This is the meaning of budget. Budget is a statement of income and expenditure, wherein a government presents budget. That time they analyze like from where the income is going to come and what will be their expenses. Yeah. The next is it focuses on the measurement and impact of budgetary deficits in the economics. Okay, so these are the components of macroeconomics. Coming to the questions with regards to micro and macroeconomics. This is the first question wherein you will get explain the two broad branches of economics. So which are the two broad branches of economics? The two broad branches of economics. Broad branches of economics are microeconomics and macroeconomics. So these are the two broad branches of economics. Second one is meaning of microeconomics, and the third question is explain the meaning of macroeconomics. Whenever you are explaining the meaning of microeconomics, also explain the components of microeconomics with that. Also the same goes for macroeconomics. Okay, now we'll see the distinguish between micro and macroeconomics. So microeconomics, as I told you, studies the individual economic unit, and macroeconomics studies the economy as a whole. Then the price determination and allocation of resources are done in microeconomics, and the full issues, economic issues, are studied in macroeconomics, that is macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is determination of income and employment are the central problems of macroeconomics. Then in microeconomics, demand and supply are the major tools of microeconomics. And with regards to macroeconomics, aggregate demand and aggregate supply are the major tools of macroeconomics. Microeconomics is also, this theory is also called as price theory, and macroeconomics, this theory is called as income theory. So microeconomics theory was put forth by Alfred Marshall. Microeconomics theory was put forth by Alfred Marshall, and macroeconomics theory was put forth by J.M. Keynes. Keynes. J.M. Keynes. Okay. Coming to the problems of scarcity and choices. So here, scarcity of resources. Now scarcity of resources means resources. What do you mean by resources? Resources are the ones which are used to satisfy our needs. Resources. There are types of resources which are available in nature. So resources are basically, they are scarce in nature, and since they are scarce, resources are scarce, and human wants are unlimited. Human wants are unlimited in nature. Okay, so human wants are unlimited in nature. So scarcity of resources means that the resources that are used to satisfy our needs are limited in nature, while our wants are unlimited. The human wants are unlimited. Then the problem of choice arises. The resources available are scarce. Resources which are available over here, they are scarce, and all the resources have got various alternative uses. Okay, so we have to choose which of our unlimited needs are to be satisfied with the available resources. And this is the problem of choice, and this is the basic economic problem which a country is facing. Okay. The next is, what do you mean by economic problems? Economic problem is, it is a problem of choices which arises due to resources are scarce, and all the resources have got alternative uses. Okay. And the next is, why does economic problem or problem of choice arises? Economic problem, first of all, they arises because resources are limited in relation to our wants. Resources are limited, and all the resources has got alternative use. Okay. So all the resources has got resources alternative use. So all the resources has got alternative uses. Okay. So these are some of the central problems. These are the central problems of an economy, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, which we'll see for the next class. Okay. Thank you for watching the video.